everyone. Today is, I don't even know what day it is. The 10th. February, Thursday, February 10th, 2022. And that means my graduating year. 4 more months ago.
Really long day today, last night. You know, I had play practice, and then around 8 o'clock, I had to do door duty for the middle school basketball game.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Good morning, welcome to RPtv. Today is Thursday, February 10th, 2022. Most children, my school children, are probably thrilled with the March 7th end to mask wearing. Some kids are still gonna have to wear masks. It's good, right? Like, if it's against my sweater.
For the mic.
Yeah. Please rise to salute the flag. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Thursday, February 10, 2022. While most school children are probably thrilled with the March 7th end to mask wearing, some kids are still going to have to wear masks. Due to federal regulations, Callie has that report.
Although the requirement that kids wear masks in school as of March 7th, the federal government will still require all masks be worn on school buses, as it does on public transportation. Murphy made the announcement Monday but did not address the issue with the buses. However, a spokeswoman Tuesday night confirmed that the mask mandate will remain in place for buses. School buses are subject to federal masking regulations, which require masks on all public mass transportation, said Aliana Alfaro, a spokeswoman for the governor's office. The U.S. Department of Transportation, referring to the CDC, said the mask mandate applies to all school buses, whether privately or publicly owned. The CDC states that passengers and drivers on school buses must wear a mask unless the driver is the only person on the bus. The requirement applies to all school buses, whether publicly or privately owned.
Even though it's February, it's never too early to start thinking about warm weather activities. And if you are a fan of Six Flags Great Adventure, you've got something to look forward to. Let's go to Cooper for the latest information.
The El Toro roller coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson is likely to reopen in the spring after the popular ride partially derailed last year. The park announced Tuesday El Toro is expected to reopen this spring following extensive testing, inspections, and state certification. The tall wooden coaster was partially derailed in June of last year, according to officials. A train on the ride failed to return to the station after it stopped a few yards before the brake run, and the ride was locked down 3 minutes later before it was cleared. Officials with the State Department of Community Affairs, which inspects amusement rides, temporarily shut down the roller coaster after the incident.
Now it's time for announcements. February is American Heart Month. Go red for Heart. Everyone is encouraged to wear red to bring awareness to heart health on February 14th. Freshman class of 2025. It's time to raise some dough. Cookie dough sales run from February 15th to March 10th. Please make check payable to RPHS. Email or see Mrs. Sosa in room 106 or Mrs. Clausey in room 112 with questions. The Anime Club will be hosting a Japanese/Asian snack sale after school on February 25th. Craving a specific snack, let them know and they'll try to have it available. The 9th and 10th grade classes are holding a combined spirits wear sale. Speak to a class advisor or a class representative to get the details. Our club and NAHS meeting is Friday after school in room 102. Also, if anyone wants to pick up artwork after semester 1 art classes, please see Mrs. Scrucho in the art room after school. Interested in being a part of the high school musical, the RPHS Theater Department is looking for a few more cast members of this year's production of Willy Wonka. Anyone who is interested should see Mrs. Witowski, Mrs. Dombrowski, Mr. Williamson, or Mrs. Orengo for some more information. Newspaper Club will meet today in room 2 after school. The Roselle Park wrestling team is on a roll, and they came home with a big win with the North Jersey sectional team title. Let's go back to Cali for the report.
Matthew Griffin at 106 won the first of 5 pins as Roselle Park earned its 20th sectional team title by defeating Hasbrook Heights 45-30 in Hasbrook Heights. Roselle Park 12-2 won its last sectional title in 2018 and won titles in 2014, 2010, 2003, 2002, and in 4 years during the 1990s, and in every year during the 1980s. Nick Torino at 126, Ryan Leva at 138, Angel Meja at 150, and Julian Colon at 157 each won by pin for Roselle Park, which also recorded a tech fall by Mason Harms at 132 and a major decision by Salvatore Randazzo at 120. Roselle Park will square off in the state semifinal on Friday. And don't forget, the boys and the girls basketball teams will take on the Roselle Rams today. The girls' game will begin at 4, while the boys will travel to Roselle for a 5:30 start time. Good luck, Panthers.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Welcome to CNN 10 on this February 10th. Extra credit if you're watching this at 10:10. My name is Carl Azus. One big question that many countries have been focused on this year is, will Russia invade Ukraine? This is a country on its western border. Russia does not like the possibility that Ukraine could join NATO, an alliance of dozens of European Welcome to CNN 10 on this February 10th. Extra credit if you're watching this at 10:10. My name is Carl Azus. One big question that many countries have been focused on this year is, will Russia invade Ukraine? This is a country on its western border. Russia does not like the possibility that Ukraine could join NATO, an alliance of dozens of European nations, the US, and Canada. But that's something that Ukraine's president wants to do. His government has received weapons and equipment from the US and other NATO countries. Russia has given its support to rebels in eastern Ukraine who want closer ties to Russia and have been fighting Ukrainian government forces. So there's already international involvement in what's happening here. What's unknown is what happens next. Russia has repeatedly denied that it's planning to invade Ukraine, but it's built up a huge force of troops and equipment along the border. More than 100,000 Russian forces are estimated to be there, with thousands more expected in the coming days. NATO members have been working together to discourage Russia from invading Ukraine. They've threatened heavy sanctions, penalties on Russia's economy if it does. But Ukraine is not currently a member of NATO, so a Russian attack may not automatically trigger a broader conflict between Russia and NATO. There's just so much that's unclear at this point. Some analysts have suggested that Russia may be building up a show of force to try to intimidate NATO, maybe to get it to promise that Ukraine won't ever join. Some have suggested that Russia wouldn't have sent so many troops here if it wasn't planning an invasion, and that's something the U.S. says it's preparing for. For some Ukrainians near the border, there's no choice but to wait and see and prepare as best they can.
Kharkiv is Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Russian troops and ships muster on land and at sea. And few places in Ukraine feel more vulnerable than Kharkiv.
Kiev is only 30 miles from the Russian border. It's a city of about 1.5 million people. At least 75% of them speak Russian as a mother tongue. And demonstrations like this are important because this city could be one of the first to get attacked in the event of an invasion.
Volodymyr Zelensky, the president, has warned as much. And US officials are saying that Vladimir Putin could order an attack at any time.
Every day I'm trying to be calm and I'm trying to go through my daily routine, but I'm trying to have this thought, okay, where are my documents? Where is food? Where is my mom? Do I have enough money?
In a city that's been identified as a potential Russian target by the Ukrainian president, there are attempts to carry on as normal. But for many, this is the new normal.
I don't want to flee, so I need to protect the city, my home, my family.
Ukraine has expanded its military, but it's a long way behind Russia in military might. So it's taking these wrecked T-64 tanks from the 1960s and rebuilding them from the chassis up to rush to the front lines. Much like Ukraine is trying to build and defend a democracy in a landscape much haunted by the Russian-dominated Soviet Union. Sam Kiley, CNN, Kharkiv.
Scientists may be a step closer to sustaining nuclear fusion. What does that mean? What could it mean? Nuclear fusion involves joining two or more atoms into a larger atom. This releases a tremendous amount of energy as heat, and nuclear fusion could eventually lead to a sustainable power source that's less pollutive than coal. Scientists have generated fusion energy before. The problem is they've only been able to sustain it for less than 2.5 seconds. That wouldn't provide much power. But this week, researchers in the United Kingdom announced they were recently able to generate and sustain fusion for 5 seconds. That would be enough to power one house's energy for a day, and if they're able to sustain it for longer and still contain the massive amounts of heat, this could eventually power thousands of homes. Nuclear fusion would produce less waste and require smaller amounts of fuel than current nuclear power, which is created through a different process. But experts say mastering and actually using fusion is probably a long way off. 10-second trivia. Name the only team on this list that has not won at least 5 Super Bowls. Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, or San Francisco 49ers. All of these teams have at least 5 championship titles except the Green Bay Packers. They've won 4. Inflation as it relates to the Super Bowl is our next subject. There's new information due out today concerning the dramatic rise in prices seen over the past year in America. The White House says the data will continue to show a high year-over-year inflation rate, and that means Americans won't be getting as much for the dollars they spend. Some economists think the problem could get worse before it gets better, but they are expecting inflation rates to settle down later in 2022. For the time being, the elevated prices could hit Super Bowl fans who live thousands of miles from where the game's being played in California.
Playoff time, baby. Games, snacks, drinks. I mean, what else can you ask for, bro? Really?
Planning a big spread for the big game? Inflation is your uninvited guest. Wells Fargo crunched the numbers. It finds the price tag for your Super Bowl party could be 14% higher than last year, depending on what you serve. The biggest offender? Meat prices. This according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. If you're a fan of chicken wings, prices for fresh and frozen chicken parts are up nearly 12% from last year. Ground beef for your chili? That's 13% more expensive. Forget serving steak. Prices have soared more than 21% from last year. Now, if you want to cut costs, consider hot dogs. Prices have actually slipped. Another way to save money, go big on the chips and dip. Potato chips are only up about 1% from a year ago. Avocados are your wild card. USDA data shows retail prices are up more than 50% from a year ago. Of course, it won't be a Super Bowl party without beverages. A 12-pack of 12-ounce soft drink cans up nearly 12%. Yes, hosting the big game doesn't come cheap this year, but whatever you spend, you're still saving money by celebrating at home. This year's Super Bowl tickets are the most expensive ever.
For many people, yelling comes naturally. There are competitions that measure how loudly folks can yell. There are even screamologists, PhDs who study loud human vocalizations. A coach might occasionally yell to be heard above the cheers of the crowd, or maybe just cause anger. One who's famous for this recently couldn't be on the sidelines, but thanks to the magic of social media, we can hear him yell from home.
Do you ever yell at the TV like a maniac? German coach Stefan Baumgart is known for yelling and gesturing at his Cologne soccer team from the sidelines. But when he was sidelined by COVID, all he could do was holler at the TV. He even wore the same hat he wears at games. His daughter posted the rant on TikTok, where German fans declared him a legend. He is the best, but the best supporting player had 4 legs. He nearly killed that dog by sitting on his head. It was as if his dog was trying to calm the coach with a little shoulder rub. Not once, but twice. As one fan wrote in German, I don't want to know what would have happened if FC, the coach's team, would have lost. The team won by a single point, but the true hero is the dog that literally got butted and still managed to act like a goalpost. Ginimos, CNN, New York.
Some would say with problems there is never need to yell about it, but your voice must find a way to raise some way if they're a ways away, or if they stay away and there's no way to tell about it. I scream, you scream for ice cream, but at the team, that's controversial. Some leave raising voices making noises for used car commercials, but just scan the sidelines. You'll find all kinds when the lines are crossed, who strike a vocal chord when points are scored to get their points across. I'm Carl Azus for CNN 10. Today's shout-out takes us to Crosby, North Dakota, where we're happy to see the students of Divide County High School.